What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button because you will not be disappointed unless you don't like good content. And if that's the case, then my girl, you can exit the way you came, but thanks for the view. Today's video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be another true crime and makeup story. And I started not to do the Luca Magnotta story because back in December when I was taking notes for it and trying to get my video together, out of nowhere Netflix dropped Don't Fuck with Cats, and I was like, girl, dang, I want to hear this story from me now that you didn't jumped ahead of me and told it. But they really didn't tell it from the point of view that I'm going to tell it from. Still, it's a good documentary to watch. I found it interesting. You may too. Like I said, it's called Don't Fuck with Cats. It's on Netflix. It was cute or whatever. But don't worry if you've already seen it. This video is from a completely different perspective and angle of his life. And so if you are interested in hearing the story from the other side mixed with a little bit of my commentary and my thoughts, then just keep on watching. I got a cocktail today. It's pink lemonade, vodka, some tropical mix from Ocean Spray, and a dash of watermelon sparkling water. It's hella strong and I'm already a little tipsy, so let's just go ahead and get into the video. Eric Newman was born in 1982 on July 24th in see, this is the thing, y'all know I can't really say I have trouble with Scarborough, saying it all together. Y'all, you know this by now. If you've been watching my channel for a minute, you know. But somebody dropped a tip and they were like, just say Scarborough, say it like that, and you good, you in there. So Scarborough, Canada. He was the first of 3 children born to a couple by the name of Anna Yorkin and Donald Newman. And these two, they might have been a little, they were a little off, because Anna was obsessed with cleanliness. Like, she had insane OCD and she would often lock the children out of the house for dirtying it up. How you gonna lock your kids outside, ma'am? How? As if that wasn't bad enough, the father, Donald, was diagnosed schizophrenic, and so they just had 2 very different parents. When Eric was about 8 or so, Donald and Anna lost their home due to debt, and so they were forced to move into Donald's parents' home. You know how that goes sometimes. Because his home life was kind of so fucked up, he would often lie to students and embellish about how his home life was. Which, I mean, I guess, you know, some kids do that. I didn't do that. I'm really trying not to get foundation on this road. He was really ashamed of his home circumstances, and he would try to cover them up with his little lies about how everything was just all good in the hood, okay? When in actuality, they were not. 1984, Eric is now 12, and Anna and Donald, they're kind of done with each other. They decide it's a wrap. They're gonna go ahead and divorce, and Anna quickly moves on, remarries, and she has 2 more kids with her brand new husband. Eric is a brand new daddy. And according to Donald's, Eric's father, Eric was abused by the stepdad, like emotionally, and he just felt like it wasn't a good situation for his son. So from there, Eric goes to live with his maternal grandmother, Phyllis. Now, Phyllis wasn't that much of a better situation for Eric, because not only was she emotionally abusive to Eric, she was physically abusive as well. She was described as very domineering and controlling. On top of that, like, girl, I thought grandmas was supposed to be making cookies and being sweet. Oh, Phyllis was not with the shits. By 2001, Eric had been seen several times at a crisis center for hearing voices. Remember, his father was schizophrenic, and I think that kind of thing is hereditary. So the shit was spreading. Now, this time he is diagnosed with personality disorder, and he's prescribed medication for it, and is moving into a group home called Harrison House, which they house people with mental disorders and issues. You know, they just put them together and try to get them some little help. And so this is where he is. Fast forward 2 years later, he's still living in this house. It's now 2003, and he's 21 years old. Eric starts to do porn. He becomes a part-time stripper and a part-time escort. He was a busy boy. Now, he had an alias for each job. Escort, he was Rocco. Stripper, he was Luca. And as a porn star, he was Angel, sir. You couldn't find nothing else. You had to name yourself Angel to be a porn star. He also decided that he wanted to pursue a regular modeling career, like with his clothes on, without his asshole exposed to the world. And so for that, he came up with the alias Jimmy. He actually landed a cover as a pinup model in the 2005 issue of Toronto's Fab magazine. Here he is here. I'll put a little picture for you to see. He was a cover boy. Girl, look at those brows. No, ma'am. During this time, Donald, Eric's father, he noticed that his son was really struggling and he felt like he wasn't addressing his mental health issues all that well, and so he refers him to his own psychiatrist that had been helping him. He said that at this time he was very concerned that his son's mental health was rapidly declining, and it was very apparent that homeboy was not taking his medicine like he should have been, which that's kind of out of the ordinary for how these stories typically go, because typically the daddies don't be shit in these stories. And so kudos to Donald for being there for his son. I mean, he still didn't turn out to be shit, but at least he tried. Eric does take his father's advice. He begins seeing the psychiatrist, and he actually sees him steadily from 2003 to 2008. So for 5 years, he was on the straight and narrow. Now, the psychiatrist noted that when he first began seeing Eric, he was very paranoid. He would often speak about how people at the Harrison house were jealous of him. They wanted to hurt him. He couldn't trust them. They wanted him out of the house. He also spoke about being suicidal. I mean, basically, the psychiatrist had his work cut out for him. He was like, damn, I thought your dad was bad off. Girl, see, this is my karma for talking about this man's brows. Now look at mine, all messed up. My goal is always to do my eyebrows without having to clean up. But girl, sometimes things don't work out like you planned. Now, for whatever reason, Eric decides he got too many names in rotation, so he's just gonna narrow it down to Luca. I don't know what was so cute about Luca. Apparently, there was something. Girl, I look like a Picasso. Look at my eyebrows. I'm so upset. This is insane. Yeah, I think they still messed up, but we're going to keep going and pretend like they're not. Now, over the next couple of years, he continues to pursue modeling. He's also still doing his escort work on the side as well as porn. He also continues to see his psychiatrist, which is good. I feel like he was, making some kind of effort to control his mental health issues. By now, he was also being treated for bipolar disorder. So he was a bipolar schizophrenic. He had been prescribed Valium and antipsychotics to kind of keep things copacetic. He was doing good for a while, but in 2005, once again, he became paranoid. He said that he felt like people were following him in the street. I don't know if in his mind he felt like he was that girl and like paparazzi and stuff were following him. Really, in actuality, nobody was following him. Wasn't nobody worried about him. But in his mind, what he told Dr. Tan is that people on the streets were taking pictures of him. They were trying to ruin his career, ruin his good name, follow him. He also complained about hearing voices again. And I don't know what these voices were saying to him at this time, but he was hearing them. Dr. Tan began noticing, and at this time he made notes that his demeanor had completely changed. Like he was speaking a lot faster than he typically would. He had become extremely delusional and he was very odd. You're a psychiatrist? That seems a little judgmental for a psychiatrist to describe you as odd. Nonetheless, Dr. Tan chalked it up to his schizophrenia. He was like, this is just that. Now, in that same year, 2005, Eric/Luca takes his ass down to the Sears, impersonating a woman, applies for a credit card, and charges $10,000 worth of things. Now I got questions, because it's one thing if you stole somebody's identity. That's identity theft. I can get how you could walk into Sears. Maybe you did your hair how hers was on the picture, put a little lipstick on, and you was giving what she gave on the ID, but that wasn't the case. He impersonated a woman, unless they just call it something different in Canada. I don't know, because he was charged with 1 count of impersonation of a female and 3 counts of fraud. And over here in the U.S., your ass would have been charged with identity theft. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was just identity theft and they just call it something else. I don't know. He pleads guilty and he spends 16 days in jail. He receives a 9-month conditional sentence, which that's like house arrest, and then a year of probation. He was also required to attend treatment for his mental health issues, which I don't think he had an issue with since he was, you know, he was trying to do that anyway. Now, after this happened, he legally changes his name. I'm sorry if you can hear my ice. I'm so sorry. He legally changes his name from Eric Newman to Luca Rocco Magnotta. Then he turned around and filed bankruptcy, citing $17,000 of debt that he just did not have the coins for. He genuinely just went on and hit the restart button because he said, I'm not waiting until next lifetime. I'm just finna retry this again right now. Now, according to his friend Nina, she said that he told her that he wanted to reinvent himself because there was some messed up stuff that had happened to him in his childhood. She said that he was so disturbed by what had happened to him in his childhood that he would break out into these rageful fits of punching himself in the face. But he never would disclose like what it was that had happened to him that made him react like this. And it's like, girl, maybe it was just because he was crazy. Now he turns around and tells Dr. Tan, his psychiatrist, that he changed his name because he was being followed, harassed, and defamed online. And so he felt like a good safety measure would be to go ahead and change his name and kind of get folks off his back. Which if they following you, sir, they still gonna know it's you when they see you. The doctor spoke about a lot of things that they did talk about, but not once did he say that Luca had ever told him that anything had happened to him in his childhood, whatever it was that had left him so disturbed. Luca Magnotta did everything in his power to erase Eric Newman. He completely rebuilt his face with plastic surgery, and he decided Luca was gonna be a hot little fashion model. He finally makes his way onto TV on a reality show called Naked News, where he gives an interview about his life. And this lengthy little interview, here's a picture. In the interview, he goes by the name of Jimmy for whatever reason. I guess because, you know, if they were going to check his references, he had done his modeling under the name of Jimmy, so he kind of had to go with it, I guess. But anyway, in the interview, he spoke about his life as a high-class escort and stripper. He was a high-class girl. After that, he undergoes even more surgery in an attempt to look like his idol, James Dean. And he auditions for a reality show called Cover Guy, which, from what I read, seemed to be a pretty popular reality show. Now, he was hoping to win the grand prize and get even more plastic surgery, but he didn't make it past the second round, and so they sent him home. I mean, granted, he didn't get what he came for. He actually was pretty much just happy that he was able to be on TV for a little while and talk about himself. This helped him gain a little bit more popularity, but not as much as he wanted and he felt like he needed. So when he returned home from his failed attempt at winning this reality show, he created a bunch of profiles online. And you know what they say? Well, some people say all publicity is good publicity. He decided that he was going to come up with a bunch of rumors about himself and just post them in these various discussion forums and make these hate accounts for himself. It's like, girl, the trolls are free. The trolls are free, girl. They really are. Trust me, I know. So he literally just sat up all day planting different rumors and stories about himself. The most popular being in 2007 that he was dating Carla Homolka, which, if you don't know her, I have a video on her and her horrible husband. They were very well-known serial killers in the Canada area. You can check out my video titled The Ken and Barbie Killers. I will link it below and probably put it in the iCards above my little head. So yeah, if you haven't checked that out, brace yourself for impact, because it's gonna make you upset. I think that's one of the cases that just irked me and annoyed me the most, just because they were just so trifling. Now, the rumor about him and Carla, it like hit smack in the middle of their murder investigation, and so it got him a lot of buzz. The Montreal Police Department, they actually announced that the pair have dated without any kind of proof that they had. Like, they literally just got the tip and announced it like it was the truth. They did later retract the statement and let people know, like, y'all, we didn't have no kind of receipts. We just spoke. They acknowledged that they had no evidence to corroborate the claim and took it back. But I mean, by then, what he wanted to happen had already happened. He'd already had the buzz. Everybody was talking about him and Googling him. And that's what he wanted. That was the whole purpose of him planning the rumor in the first place. And so he got what he came for. After that, he had an interview with the Toronto Sun. And they called him up there, and he sat up there like, I don't know where that came from. No, we never dated. I never dated her. I don't know.
What? Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
I don't know where they came from. Then, as if he had not planted the story himself, he went on a campaign to say that he had been attacked, that this was another attempt at people trying to ruin his good name, that this was cyber stalking and cyber bullying. And it's like, girl, hang it up. Because it wasn't any of the things. In actuality, he had set up by this time over 70 profiles on Facebook of different names and 20 others on different other discussion forums where he would just get in there and talk shit about himself or start rumors about himself like it ain't him behind the keyboard. I don't have enough time for my own one Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter page. So how you keeping up with 70 plus 20, like almost 100 profiles is beyond me. That's just too much. It's just too much. I wanted to keep this look straight up orange, like straight up naranja. Girl, I be struggling with English words, and here I am always trying to throw out a Spanish word. A mess. I wanted to keep with orange, but this little red right here, this D3, this red is just like, girl, use me, girl. What's the tea, girl? Come here. And so I'm gonna listen. Now, in 2010, Luka Magnotta's internet presence took a very dark, sinister, and twisted turn. He created a YouTube account and well, shit, that sound like me. Anyway, he created a YouTube account where he would talk about incest, but in a very glorifying manner. And so he quickly got a lot of haters. Well, I won't call them haters. It was people out there who were in their right mind, like you and I, who were just like, what are you doing? Now, what was most disturbing of all his posts was a video titled One Boy, Two Kittens. In this video, he placed two adorable, and I'm not even a cat person, but they were so cute. He placed two small kittens inside of a plastic vacuum seal bag. He attaches the hose, turns on the vacuum seal thing, and then he suctions all of the air from the bag until the cats suffocate. Sick. Of course, the kittens die in the video, and it was very disturbing. The video, of course, it gained a lot of attention very quickly, and it sparked a hell of a lot of outrage. Animal activist groups, they were hell-bent on bringing him to justice, like persecuting him for this crime. Rightfully so. Like, why you gotta suction the cats like that? They didn't deserve that, and that's a horrible way to die if you think about it. Like, who does that? They were online offering rewards for his capture, for any information, because at first they didn't know who he was. But then they found out who he was, and it was just like, the authorities weren't taking it serious. They weren't really trying to do anything about it. I don't know if they were trying to get him captured to give him a little street justice or what, but they wanted him found. Now, they did make a point to police that it's cats now, but it'll be kids later. And the police, they just still weren't trying to take it seriously. They were just like, well, when it's kids, then we'll handle it. I guess they said, hell, that's up to Peter. Yeah, I feel like a clown. Granted, I ain't trying to clown myself. When you do a halo eye, you're going to look like a clown until you place that center lid color. But every time I look in the mirror down here, I hear circus music. I just feel real crazy looking. But anyway, Back to the story. Now, fast forward 2 years to 2012. He is not brought to justice over this cat video. He decides he wants to dump Dr. Tan and move on to another psychiatrist, Dr. Paris. But homeboy fails to mention his previous diagnosis, which included bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. He just conveniently left that out. Dr. Paris diagnoses him with borderline personality disorder, and Luca pretty much only talks to him about his chronic feelings of emptiness, his fear of being cheated on and abandoned. And he does showcase some impulsive behavior. So the doctor knew he was a little crazy. Because, you know, people can't really hide. They're crazy. And if they can, they can't hide it for long. But some people be so crazy they can't even hide it, girl. It just seeps out around the edges and the seams. Now, he admits his attempts to self-harm to Dr. Paris. He also talks to this doctor about his childhood. He tells them that he suffered abuse, both mentally, physically, and sexual abuse. But he doesn't go into detail about who sexually abused him. Girl, I think he was lying, but I don't know. I wasn't there. And while homeboy did seem a bit off, Dr. Paris decided that it wasn't enough to prescribe him any kind of medication, and so he just tells him, you know, just come back and we'll just talk it out. Now, shortly after this, an 11-minute video titled "One Lunatic, One Ice Pick" hits the internet. When the video starts, there is a naked male tied to a bed frame. Almost instantly, a second male approaches and begins to repeatedly stab him with an ice pick and a kitchen knife. Then he dismembers the man. And after he dismembers him, cutting off his limbs, his head, his feet, and hands, he has sex with the body, the torso. The killer then goes and gets a knife and a fork, and he begins slicing off parts of the body. He brings in a dog to eat some of the body parts. And police allege that in an extended version of the video that didn't hit the internet, the perpetrator, he actually eats some of the body himself. But that part wasn't in the 11 minutes that it hit the internet. This video was uploaded to a private website. It wasn't uploaded to YouTube. It went viral. A lot of people were disgusted, outraged, rightfully so. They tried to get the video taken down. A lawyer actually reached out to the FBI to try to get them involved to get it taken down, and all requests were ignored and denied. So it remained posted, being shared and viewed like crazy. 4 days after the video is uploaded on May 29th, 2012, at approximately 11 a.m., a box is delivered to the national headquarters of the Conservative Party of Canada. The box was blood-stained and had a very, very foul odor coming from it, and when it was opened, contained the left foot of a male, and of course, they were shocked. The outside of the box was marked with a red heart symbol. Here is a picture of the authorities removing the box from the building. A little while later, a second package containing the left hand of a male was intercepted at the post office. Now, this package was addressed to Canada's Liberal Party. A package containing the right foot and right hand of the body were received by 2 different elementary schools in Vancouver, full of children. Both schools started their day opening up packages of severely decomposed, severed hands and feet. All 4 packages contain notes, but police have never disclosed the contents of any of the letters because they feared that somebody would probably try to copycat it later on, and so they have never disclosed what the notes actually said. Which, I mean, I guess that makes sense or whatever. You don't want nobody out here trying to get inspired by the wrong things. Now, it's okay to be inspired, but it ain't okay to be inspired by serial killers and murderers and things. It didn't take long for authorities to figure out who did it. They knew that it was homeboy from the cat videos, obviously, but they didn't know why. Now, the victim was Jun Lin. He was a 33-year-old international student from Wuhan, China. That's where the coronavirus is from. He hadn't quite been in Montreal a year before meeting up with lunatic Looney Luca. The two had met on the night of May 24th, the night before the video had been uploaded, after Looney Luca posted an ad on Craigslist looking for someone who was interested in the sex and bondage. Now, we know that he lived at least up until 9 p.m. that night because he had sent a text at 9 to a friend of his. But unfortunately, the next time anybody saw him would be in that video with Luca Magnotta being a maniac. Now, once the video of Junlin's death was confirmed to be authentic, they finally removed it from the website and officially began looking for Luca's little crazy ass. The janitor of the apartment building that Luca was living in had already found the torso of Junlin with papers nearby that identified him. He was left in the trash of the apartment building. Police immediately checked the surveillance footage of the apartment building and they were able to see the two coming in, which here's a picture of them entering the apartment building together. And then the next day you can see Luca disposing of his body in the common trash area. Child. Blood was also found throughout the apartment because Looney Luca had not made any kind of attempt to clean up, y'all. He fled the scene and left that apartment as is. He already knew, which he should have known, because if you murder somebody, you film it and you upload it online, you should know they're coming for you. He was crazy, but he wasn't that crazy. Junlin's head was found at the edge of a small lake over in a Montreal park. They found the head after police received an anonymous tip, which was probably Luca, because he liked attention. And so I'm sure he was just waiting on this moment for them to just make this grisly discovery. So I'm pretty sure it was him. Got my new brush. Y'all probably like, damn, that other one was dirty as fuck. It was, but it wasn't, because the thing is about these white brushes, you know, like they stain over time. Prime example, look at these. All of these are literally clean brushes, but they're stained. Judge me if you want. Luca thought he was smart, right? The day that he uploaded the video, he had booked a flight to Paris because he was like, he was gonna hop on his little jet and be like, peace, I'm out of here. But he wasn't too smart because he booked the damn flight in his own name. It's like, sir, you know they're gonna be looking for you. They can see where you went. Stupid. Authorities quickly traced him down to his hotel because he was still using his same old cell phone. So they saw that his cell phone had been pinged off the towers near this hotel. But when they got there, he was gone. He had boarded a bus for Berlin. I guess that girl's coins were getting kind of low. And so she couldn't fly nowhere else. She had to go and get a little Greyhound ticket. The French police, they called up their homegirls, which were the Berlin police, and was like, keep an eye out for him. Which it did not take long for them to apprehend him. He was at an internet cafe, literally Googling himself when they caught up with him. He was literally enjoying this. Like, he was enjoying his little publicity. And it's like, girl, this ain't cute. What you doing? When police first approached him, he produced a fake ID and a fake passport with somebody else's name on it as if it was his own. I guess he thought he was smarter than the police. But they were like, girl, this is not you. This is you. They took him down to the station and fingerprinting him just to confirm that he wasn't a lookalike, and held him for extradition back to Canada. Y'all, when I say I love myself in peach makeup looks, green used to be my favorite eyeshadow color on myself, but now I lives for a peach orangey look. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling real sassy. Okay, quick little story time. So one time I went to the fair with my niece, and I'm in like the little teacup on the kitty side because she was real small. And this Spanish guy, he was like the ride operator, and every time we spin around him in our little teacup, he was like, sissy. And I'm like, this is the creepiest shit I've ever endured. Like,
I'm scared.
My niece was only like 2, so she really didn't know what the hell was going on, but I was a bit uncomfortable. But because I'm a weirdo and I don't take too many things serious in my own life, now instead of saying sexy, I'm always like sassy. Like, anyway, I'm gonna put on highlighter today for you girls. Peach looks look good with highlighter. Everything I use today will be in the description box, but I'm going to let you know this is a loose highlighter, the Royalty 2 by Juvia's. It's literally one of my favorites, because look at that. Girl, look. I look like Jesus himself sneezed into my face and just left me with a glow. I love it. Anyway, June 18th, 2012, Luka Magnotta is delivered back to the Canadian, what are they called? Authorities. And he is immediately placed in solitary confinement. They don't want him talking to nobody else while they try to, you know, figure this thing out. They didn't even allow him to appear in court physically the next day. For his court appearance, he was on video, live video, down to the courthouse. He pled not guilty, and 3 days later he had a second court date, which he appeared, and they had literally all the security because people wanted him dead. They were pissed. They got him all this security just for him to come down to the courthouse and request a trial by jury. Girl, why? Do you think you're gonna win? In his trial, he once again pleads not guilty while admitting to the acts that he was accused of, but claiming diminished responsibility due to mental health issues. Who didn't see that coming? I feel like I need like a super dark burnt orange down to the waterline because I don't know. That's just what I feel. Sometimes you can't explain feelings. I'm sorry if I'm too close because I know I just zoomed in, but when I edit I'm gonna be like, girl, why is you all up in these people's face? Sorry if I'm too close. Sorry. The defense argues that he was in a psychotic state at the time of the murders and couldn't be held responsible for his actions. While, of course, the prosecution, they weren't trying to hear that shit. They said that the murder of Juno was premeditated. It was planned. They found evidence that he had been promoting this video 10 whole days prior to it going online, prior to even meeting Juno. I don't know what the promotional material were, but they said that they found promotional material for this video circulating online. They said that it was ultra organized, and so he was responsible and should do the time for this crime. Agreed.
Electric chair.
Now, according to Luka Magnotta, he said that he and Juno were lovers, just sharing a night of romance together, when a black car outside filled him with a conviction that Juno was a secret agent. He began to hear voices in his head that instructed him to tie Juno up. He said the voices specifically said, tie him up, cut it. As if he's not a him, like a whole human being. Disgusting. He said that the voice then told him, do it. He's from the government. He said, quote, something just told me to do it. It gave me this weird energy. Something just happened in my brain. You're right. Something did happen in your brain with your crazy ass. Luka claimed that after the killing, the voice then said, give it back to the government. And so that's why he began mailing. Girl, I was about to put lip liner on my waterline and y'all wasn't gonna stop me. That's crazy. In April 20, oh, let me not. Hold on, girl. Let me line my lips. Say what you want about Kim Kardashian, but that girl can make a damn lip liner. This is the nude lip liner in the color 1. I've been stalking my local Ultas for the 1.5. That is the perfect color. It's like this one, but it's a little more warm. And I want it so bad, but it's like sold out everywhere. It's been sold out forever. And so I've just been suffering. I don't know what I did, but I'm starting to believe God is punishing me for something. Someone mentioned in my comments that they spot clean their beauty marks. I used to do that too, but now I'm just a lazy bitch. And so I just do this. Now, April 2013, loony ass Luka is indicted on charges of first-degree murder, offering indignities to a human body, which over here we call it abuse of a corpse, just straight out. Distributing obscene materials for posting it online for the world to see, like a disturbed prick. Using the postal service to distribute obscene materials, and then last but not least, criminal harassment. I like the way this smells. I was in Ulta and I didn't even know Morphe was coming out with the Luminous setting spray, but I saw this girl and I could not leave her behind. And it smells so good. If I thought it looked like Jesus had sneezed in my face and left me with a glowy little essence before, girl, I was mistaken. This is it. So he will serve a mandatory life sentence and will be eligible for parole in 25 years. That's 25 years from 2013, which is what, 2038? I'm no mathematician. He was also sentenced to 19 years for other charges, but they allowed these two sentences to be served concurrently, so it's like at the same time. So it's really like by the time he finishes the 25, the 19 will be long gone. I hate when they do that. I really do. Y'all, when I say this setting spray smells so good, it smells so freaking good. I mean, smelling my skin all day. Like, girl, I'm turning me on. I'm being like tweeting this mother. No, I'm just kidding. In June 2017, Luca Magnotta found love in prison. He married a fellow convict. Now, when I do highlighter, I love old Cupid's bow highlighter moment. He actually found his fiance using a matchmaking web service for prisoners. It's like, what is that called? ConvictedPeopleMeet.com? Murderers Mingle? Now, while prisoners are allowed to marry, they are prohibited from consummating their marriage. But if they're in the same prison, I'm pretty sure they can find time, space, and the means to get it in if they're in the same prison. Because, girl, hell, if they can get away with rape, I'm sure they can work in a little consensual sex. So, miss me. Now, let's get into some tea. Because this is a picture that they say is Luca Magnotta right now today, right? Versus a picture of him when he went in prison. And this is a picture of Thomas Halbert. Now, y'all, I think they done locked somebody else up to be Luca Magnotta. Luca Magnotta is really Thomas Halbert out here making YouTube makeup tutorials online. Now, that's no shade, because I like me some Thomas Halbert. I do. But I'm just like, girl, is you or is you Luca Magnotta? Because y'all look so much alike. Like, they look more alike than Bow Wow and Lil Mama. And Aaron Hernandez's baby mama. Like, y'all know I'm just bullshitting. Like, I'm not, but I am. But I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I love Thomas Halbert. No shade to him. But it's like, girl, I ain't convinced you ain't really Luca Magnotta. That pretty much wraps up this video. Thank you so much to all my new subscribers. Y'all, literally a week ago I had like 4,500 subscribers, and it took me like 2.5, almost 3 years to get those. And literally in a week's time I got like 3.5 thousand. It's insane. The quick boost in subscribers is like, it caught me off guard, but I'm more than happy to have you. Welcome to my madness. To all of you who just love on me in the comments, have all these nice, beautiful, kind words to say. Y'all really make my day. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much. Now, this is the idea I just, like, it just came to me. I do list everything in the description box as far as all the products that I feature in the video, but I'm trying to think, like, I'm about to sit here and just go over everything I use and give you just a few product details on everything. And if you guys like the idea and you want me to keep doing it going forward in the new videos, just let me know down below and I'll do that. I still list them in the description box. Y'all let me know down below if y'all like that idea and y'all want me to keep doing it. I sprayed to moisturize with the Mario Badescu Rosewater spray. Foundations, right now I'm in love with this combination. It's the Beauty Bakerie Instabake and the Born This Way Too Faced foundations. Now, I previously mentioned that I mixed the two just because I bought this one a shade too dark. It's a 335W. Mama ain't that dark. She ain't. And then I purchased the Almond a while back for the sole purpose of lightening up my foundations when I purchase them too dark, because a lot of times they're a little too warm or a little too dark, and then I just add a pump or half a pump of this and just mix it to perfection. I actually love the finish of this one by itself, and I'm gonna purchase it in my rightful color when they have a sale, because Mama trying to save a coin. Those two are really good foundations for dry skin, and if you want a luminous look, I highly recommend those two. The primer I used today was the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Primer. I love it so much. I'm scraping at the bottom of the pudding cup with this one, but I got a whole new one in there waiting to be opened when this is empty. I'm almost always using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, because you get a lot for your coin, and I love it. I'm the color Golden Beige. For eyebrows, I use the e.l.f. in the color Espresso. Love it. Gotta be honest, it's not as good as the Anastasia Dip Pomade, but it does the job. It's good. I like it. This brush is just a flat angle brush that I use to do my brows. Honey, it's older than old, okay? I don't know where I got it from, but I use also the e.l.f. Duo Eyebrow brush. You can use any spoolie to spool out your eyebrows, girl. Any spoolie will do. For setting powder today, I use the KYLIE baking powder in the color Beige. Judge me not. I love it. I bronzed today with the BECCA Ipanema Sun. I don't know if it's Ipanema Sun or Ipanema Sun. Y'all know my struggles, okay? And then the Morphe 143 fan brush, my favorite thing to contour with. I blend my foundation out with the Juno and Company Microfiber Velvet Sponge. Love it to death. It's very durable. They don't tear easily like the beauty blenders. No shade, love beauty blenders. These sponges do not soak up much product like at all. With a beauty blender, you splitting the bottle of foundation, girl, with your beauty blender. And for $6, you can't beat that with a stick. For lashes, a lot of people asked about these lashes. The brand is called I Envy by Kids. This is how the package looks. The style of this particular one is the KPEI 109. I get them from my local beauty supply store, but I guess you can get them online too, because there's a website, ienvybykids.com. I use the Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Mascara for the lashes. I'm doing eyes last because I dipped in so many eyeshadow palettes, girl, and so yeah. The lip combo today, as previously mentioned, was the KKW Beauty lip liner, the nude one. Then I just put some Kimberly in the center, which was part of the KYLIE collab she did with Kim before Kim got her own little line. I mentioned the Royalty 2 loose highlighter powder by Juvia's Place. Favorite highlighter right now. I'm gonna show you the 4 palettes I use, but you have to check the description box for the shade names. I dipped into the James Charles palette, used a little bit from the Anastasia Norvina Volume 1 palette, also dipped into the Neon Orange palette by Huda Beauty. Love these mini palettes. And then the final shade I used to darken up the waterline was out of this Juvia's Place, the Saharan palette. And then of course, last but not least, I set with the Luminous setting spray, which is new by Morphe. Smells amazing, y'all. I like the finish too, girl, because it just, I'm gonna be out today like this, huh? What you say? Give it angles, girl, so you can see this highlight and this glow. But anyway, that is it for this video. As always, I appreciate you watching so much. Thank you so much to all my new subscribers, my old subscribers who have been riding with me for a while now, and everybody in between. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.